Hi there. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the fully automatic wizard in the desktop version of Vector Magic. You will simply drag and drop your image, click on the fully automatic option, and just let it run. Vector Magic is now choosing what it believes to be the best settings for image type, quality, and color. And once your finished result is ready, you can click on Done Reviewing, then drag and drop it into your vector editor. Your finished vector is now ready to use. Thanks for watching. Hi there. The purpose of this video is to walk you through the basic wizard in the desktop edition of Vector Magic. We have a few options here for you to input your image. You can either import from your computer, you can drag and drop your image, or if you're just working with a section of your image, you can highlight that section, copy it to your clipboard, and paste it from right here. So we will drag and drop our image. And now from here we will click on the Basic Wizard button, which moves us to the first question, which is what sort of image we've inputted between a photograph, an artwork with blended edges, or an artwork with non-blended edges. And since this is obviously not a photograph, we can choose between these two options. And the best way to do that is to zoom in on your image and compare it to the examples here. And since our image includes anti-aliasing, that would mean that it's an artwork with blended edges. So we can either, since this is populated, we can either click next or we can click on the button itself. Secondly, the input quality of the image between high, medium, and low. And again, we will zoom in on our image and compare to the examples. And since our image doesn't have any blurriness or noise, it is a high quality image. So we can click on this option here. And finally, the last question that is asked concerns how the colors of the image should be handled between custom colors, of which 2 colors is a special case, or unlimited colors. The custom colors option is recommended for images with 12 or fewer colors. Choosing this option gives Vector Magic a bit of a roadmap, reducing the likelihood of noise from color guessing. However, if your image has a wide array of color gradients, unlimited colors would be the best option. And since there's about 5 or 6 colors in this image, we will choose custom colors. And this generates a list of color palettes over here on the right, and you can see that one is already recommended. Now, if you look through the palettes and you find that you are missing a color, you can then go down to Custom Palette and click on one of the tiles. This will give you an eyedropper to find the color that you're missing and add it to the chosen palette. You can also add and delete colors, and we also have a color wheel for you to potentially choose a color to add to your palette. Now, since everything looks good, we can again click Next. And here we see the review page where you can see on the right panel all the options we've chosen, which you are free to change. And if you are unsatisfied with all the options, this Handpick Settings button will bring you back to the beginning to start from scratch. You can also review by toggling through the finished vector and the bitmap, as well as turning on paths will show you how Vector Magic has sliced through the anti-aliasing. Now, if that all looks correct, you can click on Done Reviewing. And from here, you can save your image, or you can drag and drop it directly into your vector editor. And your finished vector is now ready to use. Thanks for watching. Hi there. The purpose of this video is to walk you through the advanced workflow in the desktop edition of Vector Magic. This wizard allows you more control over your final vectorization. So to start, we will just copy a section of our image here, paste it from the clipboard, and choose the advanced workflow. Now the first question we're asked concerns the colors of the image between picking the colors, which corresponds to the fixed color mode in the basic wizard, or flexible colors. So we will start out with flexible colors, then click Next. This page controls image segmentation. The main feature on this page is the complexity control here, where you can choose the amount of segments in your image. So you can dial it all the way up, which can recover more detail, but you can also introduce unwanted noise potentially. So bringing it down will fix the noise, but reduce some detail. So it's up to you to find a good middle ground to best suit your needs. We also give you the option of a minimum number of pixels. We recommend keeping this at 0, but you are welcome to raise it if you so choose in an event to possibly remove some lingering noise. But again, for highly detailed images, we recommend keeping this at 0. Anti-aliasing rejection is a very important feature. It is automatically set to aggressive, but if we turn it down to moderate or none, you can see that the colors are represented less accurately due to the varying colors included in the anti-aliasing. So it's best to keep this at the aggressive level if your image includes anti-aliasing. You can also turn on and off the color clustering option, which takes information from similar color patches and applies it to others. For example, this piece here, not white when color clustering is turned off, but becomes white when color clustering is turned back on. You can customize your results another way by going back and picking your colors. So after choosing this option, you can first pick the number of colors in your palette down here in palette selection. The best way to use this feature is by clicking on this compare toggle, which will flatten your image with the colors you've chosen. So it'll be plain to see which colors are missing. From there, we can step up one by one until we've reached our desired look. Perfect. Now this feature is a bit of a crude rendering. It's not the finished result, but it is helpful for spotting those big colors you may have missed. You can control color sensitivity here between low, medium, and high. A low setting is best for noisier images or those including large color differences. Alternatively, the high setting works for really clean images or those with small differences between the colors. So therefore, the medium setting is for images that fall somewhere in the middle. The anti-aliasing engine is highly recommended for images with blending between colors. Otherwise, your result might come out inaccurately. A big example here is when we turn the anti-aliasing off, this white in the palette turns into more of an off-white, as the program is taking into account the blending from other colors. So again, anti-aliased images are best vectorized with that engine on. From there, we can click Next. So now we're back to the image segmentation window, but you'll see that the color clustering feature is hidden as we've already specified the colors. So the rest of the settings look good, so we can move on. And the next window brings us to the segmentation editor, which lets you fine-tune specific pieces in the segmentation. We have a separate tutorial for that feature, so we will just move on for now. Here we can control the path smoothing for the image and also the node reduction. It's best here to compare between the result and the original bitmap to maintain accuracy. Turning on paths with the bitmap will also show you the precise slices and node placement. The main control on this page is the smoothness setting. Lowering the smoothness works in cases of really clean images where you want to preserve as much detail from the original bitmap as possible. A higher smoothness is better for noisier images to smooth out all the rough edges, though you can experiment on the spectrum to find the best result for your image. For example, here, this corner down here, more nodes are introduced when the smoothness is lowered than when it is higher. Which produces a more accurate result. Now, Vector Magic always does some basic handling of the image's corners, as you'll see here. But with the Detect Sharp Corners feature enabled, the precise corner location and the paths going to it follow the original bitmap much more closely. Especially for these less sharp corners. For best results, you'll want to leave that on. You'll also want to keep the anti-aliasing engine on, as we'll see when turning it off. that result is not ideal. Upping the smoothing might get you something passable, but detail may be lost. So it is best for anti-aliased images with the anti-aliasing, that the anti-aliasing engine is turned on and the smoothness is worked with from there. You can control the number of nodes here using this slider. Generally, you'll want a small amount of nodes if possible, but for complex images, you might need to raise this amount. And we can click Next from here. The last page concerns removing your background, and again, we will cover this in its own video, so we will move on for now. And finally, you can save your result as usual. You can drag and drop it into your vector editor. You can also save your settings here for similar images. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. Hi there. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the segmentation editor within the desktop edition of Vector Magic to fix blemishes from a completed vector much more quickly and easily than with a standard vector editor. So you see here that my image is complete, though there is a piece here that has been colored incorrectly. So to fix that, I will just come over here to the Advanced section of our toolbar and click on Edit Results, which brings us to the segmentation editor. So this here is the segmentation, and we can see here by checking the bitmap that this line is meant to continue. You can also see the finished vector for further reference. So we will fix this first by taking our color tool, which gives us an eyedropper, to choose the color we want to fill this in with, which is black. Then we will take our pencil tool and fill in the line. We can then click Update. And it's fixed. Hi there. The purpose of this video is to talk a little about how transparency can be handled in the desktop edition of Vector Magic. Basically, there are two different types of transparency. There is what one might call a proper transparency, which is what this image has, where the edges here are made up of the border color that then becomes more and more transparent until they become completely transparent. So when I hover over Leave Transparent, there is no change. And when I move to Flatten to White, the pixels fade to white, and when I flatten to black, you see how they become black. So in this type of image, you'll normally want to leave it transparent. In this image, on the other hand, you'll see that the boundary pixels aren't actually transparent, they just fade to gray. This case merge is fine when we flatten to white, but if I flatten to black, this border really stands out, creating a sort of halo around the image itself. So in this case, it's best to flatten the image to white to avoid this grayish ring around the transparent boundaries. Hi there. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the background removal feature in the desktop edition of Vector Magic. So I have my finished vector here, and under the Advanced settings, I will click on Remove Background. Then I will take my Erase tool and just start clipping out the sections I want to make transparent. And that's it. Thanks for watching.